Hey, what's up, Vinyl community? This is Andy making a video of recent finds. I haven't made a video in a little while. I've been kind of getting things slowly. I hadn't gone out and bought a bunch of records all at once in a little while, so I just hadn't really gotten around to making one of these videos. I've also been doing a lot of Instagram. So if you guys aren't on Instagram, you totally should get on there. There's some cool stuff. I know some of you guys are. I know like Tom's on there, Kieran's on there, and then XL. I don't know your name. Sorry, but so I know some of you guys are on there. Okay, so some of this stuff is stuff I've gotten on eBay. I've been on kind of a Blue Note grab on eBay. But then some of it's stuff I've just purchased here locally. Starting with what I'm listening to now. This is a really cool Japanese Denon PCM sampler. So this is stuff like Billy Harper, Tommy Flanagan, Archie Shepp, Sonny Stitt, Tommy Flanagan again, Walter Davis. So stuff from like the 70s. Late 70s, these guys making records for Japanese market only. And usually those records aren't super expensive in and of themselves, but you just have to get them shipped here from Japan, which is super expensive, and you have to always worry about stuff getting broken or lost. So that was at Waterloo Records here in Austin for $5, so I grabbed it. Some stuff that I've shown on Instagram, don't think I've shown on here. This is a huge score I ordered before Christmas on eBay. Bluesnick, Jackie McLean. This is a first pressing with the original inner sleeve. Mono, West 63rd, deep groove on one side only. That is such a great record. I've been trying to get all of these Jackie McLean records. You could kind of get the ones from the mid 60s, but the stuff from the early 60s and late 50s, of course, is super hard to buy for anything like a reasonable price. Another one of them of the Jackie McLeans I got. This is another first pressing. It's Time with Cecil McBee, Herbie Hancock, Charles Tolliver. The first track on here is awesome. It's called Cancellation. It's a Charles Tolliver tune. I really like Charles Tolliver's stuff on Strata East. You know, he's great. And that was actually, that's one of these records you see all over the place in terms of price. That was super reasonable. Here's one. I bought this is one of the ones that was kind of a gamble. I bought it not knowing what edition it would be. This is Herbie Hancock Maiden Voyage. This is what the photo looked like online. So I thought, oh, well, maybe that's the first pressing. Turns out, no, it's not a first pressing, but it does have the New York label, which is always means, you know, earlier probably, and it has Rudy Van Gelder in the dead wax. I think I had a version of that on the dark blue a while back that didn't have Rudy Van Gelder, and it was a little scratched up. So I even sold that one before I got that. So I haven't had that record in a while. This was an upgrade. The DBs first album stands for Decibels. If you guys, I don't know if I've talked about this band before. If you don't have this record, you should seek it out. It can be found under $20. On Albion Records. This is like power pop, jangly rock, and it's really good. It's just like pop gold. If you don't have the DBs, get that one. I think I have all the DBs records. That's the only one I listen to on a regular basis, though, because that's such a great album. The others are fine, but I don't get into them as much. This was one from a record store I went to up in Round Rock. This is Freddie Hubbard, Impulse A27 with Van Gelder, and my understanding is this is a first pressing based on the label. I never quite remember the details of the Impulse stuff. But yeah, so that was up at what are they called? Piranha Records in Round Rock. I got one of my friends who lives up there into record collecting a little bit, and so I went up to do some record shopping with him, and they had a bunch of rare jazz, but it was mostly beat. It was mostly completely trashed. That was in good shape, so I bought it. Another eBay grab. This is a second stereo pressing of Blue Train. Pensive looking John Coltrane right there with the West 63rd label, ear. I think it's second pressing. I know it's stereo, so it's a stereo pressing. And I think it's second because it has deep groove on both sides. I think the first would have only had it on one or something like that. I honestly don't know. Okay, here's stuff I got today. I had a good day today in terms of records. The first one was something I had ordered on eBay from a guy who's actually down in San Antonio, and I'm trying to convince the guy to let me come down and look through the rest that he's going to put on sale before he puts it on eBay. He said he's going to start going to a flea market down there, but hopefully I can convince him to let me just come down and buy stuff, because this is the two records. So first, I think one of the few Jimmy Smiths that I'm interested in having. I don't really love organ the way he plays it, but I love all these players. And this one's pretty good. This has Lee Morgan, Curtis Fuller, Lou Donaldson, Tina Brooks, Kenny Burrell, Art Blakey. You know, it's a cool record. And it's first pressing New York label, House Party, because I don't think it's not like everybody's playing on it at once, okay? But there's a ton of different players. That's why they call it House Party. And then this is the other one I got from that guy. It arrived today. And this fills out my Andrew Hill collection. I've been trying to get all of them because I love Andrew Hill. And this fills out my my Andrew Hills. I had the 75th anniversary pressing of this, but this is an original mono. So this is Blackfire. The cover's a little nasty. It's not the best cover in the world, but the record itself, I would say VG plus or near mint. I mean, it's in pristine shape. I was super happy. New York labels, BLP, mono first pressing of this. I like that. I would say that of the Andrew Hills, my favorite is definitely Point of Departure, which that's no surprise. It's got Dolphy on it. I think it's everybody's favorite. This one's probably second. That's a killer record. Okay. Well, I kind of lied. This isn't all from today. One of these, something from earlier this weekend snuck in. This weekend I drove up to Dallas to hang out with my friend from college. On the way, I had seen that Waco has a flea market, so I stopped in and I found a guy selling records. And it was super cold outside, and I only had like 10 minutes before I needed to get back on the road. So I only did a quick browse through his stacks. But I found this nice stereo pressing of Pepper Adams' Donald Byrd Quintet, Out of This World. This is really nice hard bop stuff. It's got Herb Hancock there. I looked it up. This is actually Herbie Hancock's first or second, depending on when the dates were actually scheduled. But it's the second released record with Herbie Hancock playing on it in '61 when he was, I think, 21 or something like that, or 20. So that's kind of cool. And of course, it has Donald Byrd and Pepper Adams. It's a really cool record. Okay, I went by End of an Ear. This is something you guys don't see me show all that often, and that's a new release. But I love this band, and I've seen them live a few times. I'm going to see them again later this year. This is the new release by Savages. I just got this half an hour ago. They're intense. They put the fist on there, fist on the other side. I've heard The Answer off of this and Adore. I didn't like The Answer as much, but Adore I liked a lot. The thing that I like about this band is the rhythm section a lot. They have this bassist, Aisha Hassan, and Faye Milton on drums. And when they put it, like they kind of have this style when they want it that's super propulsive, sort of post-punk playing style, and I really like that. Oh, another step towards filling out my Wayne Shorter collection. Trying to get everything by good old Wayne Shorter. This was something that was the end of an ear, just in the normal jazz, not in the new arrivals. Schizophrenia. This is, I think, a 69 release. So it's a Liberty First Press with Rudy Van Gelder and the Dead Wax still on the white and blue label before they switched over. If you have Supernova or Isle of Iska, those are the ones that came directly after this. This is, from what I listened to it in the store, this is much closer to, say, to Speak No Evil, to the stuff before it than to those more noisier and a little more fusion-y records. This one is really good. I like that a lot. Another one I grabbed, I'm kind of shocked I didn't have this, but I looked at my Discogs when I was in the store, and sure enough, I didn't have it. So this is Miles Davis, Four and More. This is got Herbie Hancock, Tony Williams, the Young Dudes. This is a 2i, which I think is first for that. I think this is after they dropped the 6i, but I'm not 100% sure. But I didn't have it, which surprised me. I try to get all of those because you can get them. They're relatively common, right? So I try to get them. And then finally, people have been talking about Stanley Cowell a lot, and I realized I didn't have any Stanley Cowell. So I was at Friends of Sound, just checking on some records I had for sale there. And the guy that I kind of whose taste I kind of share at Friends of Sound is this guy Cyrus, and this was in his recommended section. This is Stanley Cowell on Arista Freedom, Brilliant Circles. Even if you guys hadn't been talking about Stanley Cowell, I would have wanted this because it's got Bobby Hutcherson, Woody Shaw, Joe Chambers, Reggie Workman. I would have grabbed this kind of no matter what, given the people on it and the fact that it was like $8. So that's kind of a nice thing about Arista Freedom. I might start getting more of that stuff because it's sort of under the radar, I think, and no one is buying it, so it's super cheap. But I haven't listened to that really. They have a terrible listening station, unfortunately, so I didn't even bother listening to it. I just said, hey, I know I'm gonna at least find that interesting. Okay, guys, well, that's the stuff that I've gotten recently. I have another lot coming that doesn't look all that interesting, except it's got a Yusuf Lateef new jazz record. But the rest is sort of easy listening. Hopefully that one's good, in good shape. Otherwise, the lot will be a waste. And then I've got, what else did I have coming? I think I've got a couple more Blue Notes on the way. Oh, I ordered some records from Sweden, yeah. There's a guy on Instagram, for those of you guys who are on there, Swejazz, Wsejazz, and it's a guy who owns a record shop in Stockholm. And the dollar is kind of strong right now. Sorry, Kieran, this isn't for you because I know the Canadian dollar is in the complete toilet right now. I apologize for that. So it turns out that right now the Swedish krona is pretty weak relative to the US dollar. So I was able to order some really good stuff from Sweden, and even with shipping, it turned out to be a good deal. So if you guys don't follow Swejazz on Instagram, I totally recommend that you do so. All right, signing off now. See you guys.